All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about real music and doing it in real time for a few real people out here, just like you there, and just like me right here. So, I was checking out this interview on a radio station with Judas Priest bassist Ian Hill. Now, Ian says the quiet part out loud here. He's noted that you need to appeal to new audiences since the group's original fans are expiring. That's the word he used. They're expiring. They're expiring suddenly. Oh man, gonna get in trouble. Anyway, he was on this radio station called The Pick, Pick. And I don't know. I just envision that word with the letter R in it somewhere, and your eyes aren't working the way they used to, and you're like, why would I listen to a radio station called the? Anyway, I'm not going to say it. And the reason I thought of it is because the logo almost makes the P and the I go together. It almost looks like an R if you look at it quickly. And I wouldn't name a radio station The Pick. Okay. I wouldn't do it, but everything today, it's Bob FM. Hey, what do we play on Bob FM? Well, we play everything. Really? Do you play ABBA and AC/DC back to back? That would be interesting. They don't play everything. Literally, you play everything? Do you play any deep tracks? Nope. No deep tracks. That's not everything, Dave. That's too far out. We play everything. You should play some far out stuff. Anyway, getting back to this interview on this radio station in Idaho, of all places, Ian Hill had more to say. He says, we try to stay relevant. It's something we always try to do. And we do it with each album. I mean, you're learning stuff all the time. And whatever we learn, we try to put it into the next project. And we've done that from the very start, way back in the 1970s, the early 1970s. No wonder some of the band's fan base are expiring, according to Ian. Folks, how long can these rock bands go? I mean, seriously, I'm not trying to shut it all down because people are eager to go see Judas Priest, apparently. They really are. They don't care who's in the band so long as they get to see them. And I'm just, how old is too old? Anyway, the goal apparently is to appeal to new fans, which I think is a good idea. But do new fans want to see senior citizen rock stars? Is that what they want to see? I mean, if I were 25 or 30 years old and there was a band out there that was fairly old looking and they played decently, I might be interested in seeing them, but I would probably want to see something a little fresher, all right, a little newer. And again, if that sounds like ageism, well, it takes one to know one, I guess. I mean, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I do like some music, by the way, by younger artists. And I've noticed, though, that older folks tend to gravitate toward what they know, what they feel comfortable with. And at some point, I think it just gets tiring. It gets old. Sorry to use that word, but it just gets old. And I'm into variety. I'm into hearing new things. I'm not really listening to a lot of new rock music anymore. I've just decided to listen to other things, spiritual music, especially religious oriented stuff, music with meaning and lyrics that are thoughtful and keep my mind focused on certain things. That's just for me. It's not for everybody. And I've noticed a lot of pushback, like, okay, really, you're going to go down that road, huh? It's just where I'm at this point in my life. And when I read an article like this, I think to myself, yeah, the old fans are expiring. And so you have to find new fans because you won't have any fans left. And I think that's what's going to happen with a lot of these bands. And if they don't quit, which apparently none of them want to quit, they're going to have to look for new fans. According to Ian Hill, he says, as you look down from the stage and you see people in their late teens, early 20s, they're loving it. And it's not just the new stuff. They're singing along to the older stuff, 20, 30 years old. So you've got them interested in that, and they've gone back into the heritage of the band and started to look at some of the earlier material. He says, it's great news. You know why it's great news? It's guaranteed income for these guys. Now, with metal, you tend to get younger people. Keep in mind, some of the older people haven't expired. Their musical interests may have changed as they've gotten older. Now, again, even though I just said in this video that a lot of people are stuck in their ways, that's true, but also, like in my case, I just don't have the same enthusiasm for bands like Judas Priest. Not that I was a huge Judas Priest person when I was younger, but I paid more attention to this kind of music. And now I don't know. Part of it with me is a spiritual awakening where you realize that life is more than the subject matter in these songs and the images and ideas that are put forth, even if they're fairly innocuous. For me, I'd rather saturate my brain and my soul with uplifting stuff and stuff that focuses my mind on things above and not things below. All right, is a nice way to say it. And look, I know people are going to come at me and say, well, Judas Priest, they don't mean all the stuff that they sing about. I get that a lot. Dave, it's an act. It's just, it's an image. The Scorpions really, they don't want to rock you like a hurricane anymore. No, it's just a thing they did way back in the day, and now it's a rock anthem, and just don't worry about the words. Guys never listen to words anyway. And there's some truth to that. But at a certain point, doesn't it get a little creepy, both for the old guys who are up on stage singing for the dudes who are like 18? Isn't that a little creepy? That's not creepy for some people? No, that's all right. I don't know. At a certain point, I mean, I'm sure people are going to look at me and say, you're kind of creepy, dude. You should do something else. And I've already gotten that a million times. But I persist. I'm hoping that people in my demographic will continue to watch the channel just to hear what thing I might accidentally say. So on that note, Ian Hill saying the quiet part out loud about fans expiring, and it's just sad. It's because classic rock and old metal bands, they don't want to retire. They want to keep going until they drop or they replace everybody. And then people say, yeah, it's just as good as the old band. And people are still paying, $200 a ticket to go see a band that doesn't even resemble or in some cases sound like the band that once was. For me, if I'm going to listen to Judas Priest, probably mid to late 70s is the best stuff, but I'm not really a huge enough fan to go back and listen to it. But the stuff I have listened to, that tends to be the more classic rock sounding era of Judas Priest. And it wasn't so loud and so compressed that you couldn't make out certain musical instruments. You could kind of hear the separation of things. And that's why I love old recordings. Give me analog or give me nothing. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, folks, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, that would be much appreciated as I rebuild here from the ground up. I want to thank everybody who's come on over. Also, Patreon, if you want to have a little chat about things, I'm over there from time to time for $1 a month. You can sign up for that. And buy me a coffee. I need coffee. It's a thing. It's 2 or 3 cups a day at this point. Coffee is very important. So that's all I can say about that. But if you can help me out, I'd appreciate it. And God bless everyone. Remember, Jesus is the reason for every season. Now that the holiday season has passed, you can just bank on Jesus 24/7, 365. It's not just about Christmas and Easter, it's every day, all the time.